Hello and welcome back to the Unlock Potential podcast. On this week's episode, we have Hannah Swan, the owner of Swan Lashes Salon and the owner of Lash and Learn podcast. On this week's episode, we spoke about how she started her business in the beauty industry doing lashes and what her plans are for moving into the future. I hope you enjoy. If you're enjoying this episode, make sure to subscribe or follow on whatever platform you're listening to. Thanks for coming on, Hannah.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, it's a bit weird now, isn't it?
I know.
You're on my podcast now.
I'm on like the other side of a podcast. I'm so used to being the one asking the questions, so I'm a bit nervous.
This is your first one, isn't it?
Yeah, this is my first one to be on.
Yeah. So we'll start off. Like, how did you get into the beauty industry?
So I got into the beauty industry in 2020, which feels like a lifetime ago because like it was kind of at the start of COVID. So like, what was that, March? And I bought myself this like lash kit, and it came with like the mannequin and everything in it. And I was like, right, I'll just start doing lashes. Like I was in 6th year of school, so at the time I still thought I was doing my leaving cert. So I was just stuck at home.
Wait, did you not end up doing it?
No, I was one of them jammy people that got to not do my leaving cert, so it worked out grand. But like right up until I think the end of May, we thought we were doing it. So I was in a sweat until then. But yeah, I have a lot of girls in my family. So like I have 2 sisters, my mum, obviously my brother and my dad. But I started with that lash kit. I got it and I was like, this is just be something to do. You know, I could do my sister's lashes as well. Like we have all this time. And I started doing lashes and I loved it. Like I hadn't done any courses at the time now because I couldn't, because I was at home. So I was looking up on YouTube. I was doing like these kind of like online ones. But like they were like...
That's mad that you just got a kit from somewhere without a cert.
Yeah.
I'm like, where did you get that?
Yeah, I was able to. I don't know. I seen it. It was on Instagram and it was reduced like €300 or something. And I got like the mannequin and all with it. And I was just like, oh, I'll just try this. Like, and yeah, I didn't have any certs or nothing, which probably shouldn't be allowed really. Because
I am a girl, someone that I know, her daughter bought glue off me. And then she texted me and she was like, Demi, like, you tell her she can stick strip lashes on with that. And I was like, oh my God, yeah, definitely not.
Oh God, yeah.
Like, imagine.
Oh God,
she was about to use.
Yeah,
she was about to use the eyelash glue for strip lashes.
No. Yeah, see, that can be lethal sometimes when it comes to stuff like that.
Someone younger buys it and hasn't got a clue.
Yeah, and like you're not meant to know when people are ordering, like you know their name and that's about it, like, do you know that way?
Yeah, and so you got the lash kit, you started doing lashes?
Yeah, I started doing lashes, was looking up all the videos and TikToks and looking on YouTube, and so I loved it. Like I started getting into it, and once we kind of came out with lockdown, I'd done a proper course, and like that, like I loved it again. And the more I started to know about it, like the more I was like, right, I actually really like this. And I never had intended on doing like beauty or anything like that. I finished my leaving cert or whatever, and I was doing lashes from a room in my house. We had a playroom in my house, but my brother never really used that anymore. So I turned that into like a little lash room, and I started taking clients like in between lockdowns. And I started college in TUD in Tala doing advertising and marketing. And I'd done 2 years of that and I left it.
Yeah, but that goes in with what you're doing now. So that's good.
It didn't. Like that's what I thought I was going to be doing, like all these reels and like TikToks and all. And they had me doing like law and like database stuff. And I was like, absolutely not. Like I was like, I probably should have done like digital media or something a bit more. But yeah, they had me doing all this mad stuff. And I was like, no, that's just not for me.
And like, what did you end up finishing that course then?
No, I only done 2 years. So I left it. Like if I'd done 3 years, I would have got like a level 7. But at the time when I went into my 2nd year in 2021, I opened my salon. So I was like getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning, getting the bus to college, going to college, coming back at 5, not even going back to my house, going straight to the salon and doing lashes. So I wouldn't get home till 10 o'clock at night. So I was like...
So you're in a salon now, are you?
Yeah, my own salon, yeah, in Blessenden.
All right, okay. I thought you had like a log cabin.
No, I have a salon. It's above like a building in Blessenden. So I opened that in 2021. Yeah. And like that, like I'd just be coming home and I'd be wrecked. And I was like, I don't like what I'm doing. Like I hated college.
You obviously loved doing the lashes and
stuff.
Oh
yeah, I loved it. And I was like, I was after getting out, I couldn't get the Susie grant. So I was after getting out $6,000 allowance to pay for college. And it was killing me that I was after getting out this $6,000.
You felt like you had to do it.
And I had to do it. And I think my mum and dad, like they'd never pressure me, but like my dad was like, I was like, oh, you'd be the first one to go to college in the family and all. And then I was like, right, like, I don't want to do this. Like, I can't. So it was like the summer of going into my 3rd year, and I gave it, like, I was like, no, I'm not going back. So I went to my mum and dad, and they were like, what? Like, my dad was like, would you not just stick it out? Would you not just stick it out? And I was like, do you want to pay an extra $3,000 for me, like, for another year? Like,
if you know you're not into it, why?
Yeah. And it was killing me. And he was like, right. He was like, you're not allowed to finish until, like, you give me a business plan. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah. He was like, you're not just going to sit around. And I was like, I knew I wasn't going to sit around. So I had written out, like, everything that I wanted to do and all. And then I was like, he was like, right, you can leave. Like, I was going to leave anyway, but he was just like, he's always been like that. He wants me to kind of have a plan.
Yeah, but that's good.
It is. Yeah. But, like, they knew I was never someone that I was going to, like, sit around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah. That was how it started.
Yeah. And you just do lashes, don't you? Would you do any other treatments?
Just do lashes, yeah. Then, so I opened in 2021, and a few months later, my mom got into brows. So my mom does brows, and then a few months later, my sister got into nails. So my mom is in the salon, and so is my sister.
Oh no,
yeah. But I just specialise in lashes because I like focusing on one thing.
Yeah, and you have your own podcast then as well.
I do, yeah, the Lash and Learn podcast.
So what made you start that? How?
So like that, like when I had finished college, I had so much time on my hands, and I was like, oh my God, like my brain was like running. Like I was like this, like what do I do with all this time? Like because I feel like I'd be thinking about all these things like in college, and I'd be like, God, if only I had the time to do it. So I was on holidays last year in August, and I always feel like whenever I go on holidays or take time off, like I start to think about everything. You're probably the same. Do you know that way? It's like when you get a bit of time,
that's when you get
real creative. Yeah. So me and my boyfriend were after coming back, like we were just out in Cyprus for the day, and I started, this is when kind of podcasts started to become a thing, and I started watching them myself, and I was listening to a lot of like American podcasts about lash stuff and business, and I found there was like none in Ireland. So I was like, I wonder could I do that? And I basically started off on my Instagram page doing like Lash and Learn live. So like live sessions on my Instagram. Yeah. And bringing on girls who've done lashes and had products and stuff. And literally it was like a live podcast, and I'd ask them all questions. And so that's how I started it. And then I met my producer Kira at a Beauty Boss brunch, like Christmas party last December. And she had worked for Go Loud. Yeah. And she was leaving at the time, and she was going to go become like, you know, her own thing and have her own company.
Go self-employed.
Go self-employed. Like, and I was like, oh, well, I'd love to work with you. And she was like, I'd love to work with you. And she produces the podcast for me. So she edits it, does all that kind of stuff for me. So that's when it kind of kicked off. And then it started in February of this year.
Yeah, unreal. Yeah, just the power of networking, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I can never emphasize that enough.
Yeah, you never know who you're going to meet, whatever event you go to.
Exactly, because even the likes of that, like starting the podcast has opened so much doors for me. Even, you know, like meeting yourself, like I had you on the podcast, and now you have me on yours, and you know, it really like it's like a domino effect when you network with other people. Yeah,
I found that as well from doing the podcast, like the amount of people that I've met and the things I've learned. I always leave like proper, like yesterday I done 2 episodes and I was like proper buzzed leaving. You leave like in such a good mood.
You do. It's really exciting, and like that, like you can never know enough. Do you know what I mean? Like you can have everything, and like you'll never learn enough, because there's always someone has always done something like bad or done something good, and they'll tell you like, do this, don't do that, and like it's great to learn off other people.
And then you done live shows as well.
I did, in the 4th of August. It feels like years ago. It was only a few months ago, doesn't it? Like that
actually felt like that was only like last month. Literally. When you say 4th of August, I'm like, what?
Yeah. But so we done a live show, a Lash and Learn live show on the 4th of August in the Sugar Club in Dublin. And it was amazing. We had like the BFL girls on, we had Painted by Kira, we had Ava Lashes, we had loads of different sponsors, like such as yourself. You had given us loads of different things. And it was brilliant, So it was a show kind of, we'd bring on all the guests and we talk about their businesses, we'd have like the chit chats. It was kind of more of a funny side of it. But I really enjoyed it, and it was a great success. But I like that, I was telling you before we started, when I finished the show, I was so sick. Like I got the shakes, I got headaches, I had to go home. Like I intended on going out after the show and like, you know, like having a load of drinks and you know, and I was like, no, I can't. I had to go home. I think like I had like an adrenaline crash, because I was like trying to keep myself so together like before the show and during it, that like I was, oh my God, I was in bits after, but I'd definitely do it again.
Yeah, and other people probably that were there probably didn't even notice something like that off you.
Yeah. I think that's what, because I was trying to keep it together, not for everyone else, but just, you know, for the sake of the show and everything going well, that I was like, just keep it together.
Yeah, well, that sure the next time.
Exactly.
Like
yeah. That's what, like, because people were like, God, would you do it again after I tell them that? I'm like, yeah, no, I actually would. Because, like, you know what to expect then. I think
and the more you do it,
you get better at it. Like, it's like, no, it will always get easier the more you do it. So I definitely do it.
And we were talking about you took a slight of a pause with your episodes. You're bringing out a new season, is it?
So season 2 is coming. I feel like I've been saying it so long, but we're kind of renovating the podcast. We're doing a whole, you know, updo of it. You know, we have a new studio. We have just like new layout, new cover art for it. And a lot more guests kind of from different areas, not just the lash business. Because you know, when you say Lash and Learn, you think it's from like, you know,
just
it's about lashes. But I kind of want to go from like a new approach where like I'm doing lashes, but I also want to learn from other people and like other entrepreneurs and stuff.
I feel like you can kind of like you can learn different things from different people in business and kind of bring it to your niche or kind of like I'm doing like a social media course and like it's not nothing to do about beauty, but then you can kind of bring it into. So you can learn from different people in different industries, like definitely.
And I always find as well, like a lot of the times, like with business, a lot of it's not even about your skill or what your business is about. Like, you know, like the likes of like learning from an accountant has nothing to do with lashes, but it has a lot to do with your business.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? So all these things, a lot of it isn't even about your skill and what your business is about. It's about the behind the scenes things. And I think you can really learn off other people that, you know, that they've had successful businesses as well.
Yeah, like your mindset and mental health and stuff like that.
Exactly, I love all that. Yeah.
And you're doing a book series, I seen actually now that we're talking about that.
Yeah, I love that. So it can be slow because I'd be reading the books as I post them as well.
Yeah, and then you're finding the time when to read them.
But I just started a book series on the podcast page, and it's just books that I've been reading at the moment that are about mindset, business, all like kind of positive things. I just thought that's a great help because a lot of the time you do see people reading books that are, you know, for their businesses and all that kind of things. And I always love seeing book recommendations myself. So I just thought it'd be good to start a little series.
I have a pile of books there beside me in bed.
Yeah, exactly.
But like it's finding the time to read them.
That's what I mean.
I'm like, I want that.
Yeah, but that's what like I'll start and then I won't see it for a week. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like that's why like I might not be posting them all the time, but it's because I'm probably reading the next book that I'm going to put up.
Yeah. So what, you'll only post them when you're fully finished?
Yeah. I like to do that because I feel like I can't really give an honest opinion on a book that I haven't read. You know, that way. So I'd only kind of be spoofing if I haven't read it myself. You know.
So what books would you recommend then to anyone listening?
So I love Stephen Bartley. Any of his books are amazing. I love any of the Manifest books. Love them. What other ones do I like? Atomic Habits. Love that. I love listening to Audible when you're in the car. Yeah, Audible as well. That's what I was going to say. I have like a few Audible books that I've listened to because like that I'd be driving a lot, you know, or just podcasts as well that I love. You know, you can't go wrong with them. But yeah, I love the Atomic Habits books. Any of them ones is really good. I find like getting into habits has been like one of the key things to like me being not successful, but like, you know, like keeping my business going and keeping me on a straight road. And then with your beauty business, any new goals or anything that you want to? Yes, I definitely, something that it's been in my mind for so long, and it was finding the time to kind of like, you know, give myself the time to do it. So I'm starting to look into product development, which is a whole other world. I'm sure you know, it's opened up a whole can of worms. But yeah, I'm starting to look into product development and start my own lash trays and products. Yeah, that's all. When you text me, like I'm doing them like I have my own product line like probably about like 3 years now since COVID. And I only learned at like the start of this year that I wasn't actually pricing my stuff properly. And then looking at everyone else that sells them, and I'm like, how are they selling them for that cheap? Yeah. I'm like, are they doing it properly? Yeah. Oh yeah. It's mad. Because I feel like as well, it's one of them things like until you start and you actually start selling, you can't really do the figures properly. Do you know? Like until you add up like, you know, the delivery, the buying them in, the taxes on them, all that kind of stuff. Like it's hard to know until you actually start selling them yourself.
Yeah, that's what I feel like when I started. I kind of just went by what are my competitors or like what other people are selling it for. Not actually looking into more of, do you know, that way.
Yeah, your own money and what you have to.
Yeah,
you know,
what you're actually paying for it. Yeah, it's mad. It is another.
It is
world.
Yeah, because I'm like, it's one thing like finding your supplier and being like, right, I like this. Then you have to get them like branded, and you have to look at like how much they are, how much you want to sell them for, websites.
Yeah.
Like it opens up a whole thing. But you know, I know I'm willing to, you know, take the time to do it, and it will all work out eventually. I hope.
And then is so just focus on your products then. Yeah. For, like that's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
You don't want to jump on that.
Between like having like actually doing lashes myself and like running my business and then the podcast and the products, I'm like, I need to calm down sometimes.
Yeah. And what is it? Are you getting the website built up or?
Yeah. So I've had a few meetings with different people because like that, you know, some people like design them in different ways and some people are.
Yeah.
So like, because I had a meeting with someone like, there's just so many options and so many different things, and you know, everyone has their own way of doing it. So I'm kind of having a few meetings to see which one I like the most.
Yeah. And then with the podcast, have you you have a manager, is it, or?
So no, I don't have a manager. I have Kira, so she's my producer. So she just edits all the episodes for me. And she does help me like with the likes of the live show. You know, she helped like get some of the guests and just help me organise the whole thing as well. So it would just be great to have another person that can help you. But yeah, she basically edits my episodes. So
and what did do you want to say today when you'll be launching your new one?
Yeah, the 1st November.
1st November,
yeah. Well, season 2 will be coming out. I know it's been a long time coming, but I really didn't want to put out something that I wasn't fully happy with, you know, and I was happy with, you know, the first season wouldn't have gotten me to where I am now and, you know, the live show and all that. But I just think, you know, when you start to see the standard and all that kind of stuff, I'm like, no, I want to amp it up and just make it a bit better and start it off on a good foot again. So
how long would you say it took you to plan the live show? Probably like a whole month, longer than that.
I'd say about 3 months.
3 months?
Yeah.
Oh my God, stop
3 months. Because it's like a lot of it as well is getting to other people. So like, you know, like all the likes the sponsors, you know, so like you're getting in contact with people, working out prices, working out like if they want to give products, if they want to give money, if they all that stuff. And then like you have to worry about yourself, you have to worry about other people, you know, it's a lot. But I definitely think taking more time for it obviously makes it a better show. Do you know what? I don't think you could do it in a month. I'd be very surprised. And if you could, like, I'd just be so stressed. Do you know that way?
Like you're saying I want to do one, but then I'm like, do I?
Yeah, it's amazing. Like it is a great thing to do, but it's very stressful. But it's like that, anything stressful, do you know what I mean?
And would you say you find it hard balancing, like, say, social life and work and the podcast and everything?
Yeah, no, I'm not a big social person. Like I am social. Like I'm like between me and my boyfriend, like I'm so outgoing and he is not at all. But I don't really like going out that much. Like I don't like going out unless there's something on. Do you know what I mean? Like unless it's actually like someone's birthday or, you know, I don't know, like Stephen's day or something. Like I don't go out that much. So a lot
even
of my
like seeing friends and
so like a lot of my socialising will be like one of my friends, Robin, like I'll always go to the gym with her. So, you know, that's, or like I might go for a drive with one of the girls, like I want to walk, and that's my kind of socialising, to be honest, because like that, like I don't have time to be hungover and drinking and spending all my money. Like it's never been my thing, because I just know that I do better things. And, you know, I like that I have work in the mornings and stuff, and you probably know yourself, it's never a good idea to go out before you're working. So definitely not. So like my socialising is going on walks and going to the gym and just kind of chilling out, really. So
you don't find it hard in balancing like any of that?
I do sometimes, definitely. Like it's like my boyfriend always slags me. He's like, oh, can you fit me into your schedule now? Do you know that way? Like messing with me. But yeah, I do. Like sometimes I find like I'll literally put into my own booking system that like I even put this podcast into my own booking system today.
I do that as well.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and I'll literally sometimes I put like walk with Robin, rock with Ellie, like that's how like planned out.
I feel like you forget.
Yeah, you do. I forget so much stuff, and you know, like you might have a client that you forget about, and you're like, oh, I actually can't go on that walk. I have this client now, or all this stuff. So a lot of my thing, I'm very like structural. Do you know that kind of way? Yeah. And like that's where habits come into play where, you know, I'll wake up and I'll go gym, and I kind of plan out things in my head like for the day.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And then with social media, do you find that hard? I feel like business and especially beauty and stuff like that, to be fair, not even especially beauty, all business now,
All
it's all
business.
revolves around social media.
Yeah, so it's
Find it hard?
something, I don't find it hard, but I definitely find it time consuming.
Yeah.
It's very time consuming.
Yeah.
But I think it's about kind of, I'd love to get better at it. I kind of want it to be like more aesthetically pleasing my page. I think that's everyone's goal now, isn't it?
Yeah,
to have
I feel
everything
like
very
especially in
aesthetic.
beauty, yeah.
Yeah, especially in beauty. But yeah, it's definitely time consuming sometimes. But I try and find it, you know, lately I've been taking models as like, you know, people coming in, I'll do a set on them and I'll be like, right, you're going to be here for 2 or 3 hours and we're going to do this and we're going to do that. And, you know, I'll get them to do their makeup and stuff and we'll take pictures of them after. So I find that helps. Even like taking a model a week can give you a lot of content for that week. Even I was in the gym the other day and I was doing stretches that I do for my back, and like I filmed it and I put a reel up about the stretches to do. So you kind of start to, I think when you get into that rhythm, you're like, this could be content, this could be content. You know, you start to think of everything as content. So I do find it hard, but it's kind of something you get used to doing, isn't it? Like,
I feel like you have to record literally every single thing.
Every single thing. Oh my God, every single thing I do. Like I do like, have to record this.
Yeah, like that's all. I got into a really good like routine of like recording everything.
Yeah.
And then I just like snapped over.
Yeah.
Like, and now I'm like trying to get back into it again.
Because like that, you'll have times where
it's
like
just something unnatural, like that you
it's
never
not
done
natural
before.
to do, no. And like that, like you'll get into a time where you're like, oh my God, like your content, you're whacking it all up, and then like you'll be like, right, okay, I'm actually out of ideas now. Do you know what I mean? There's only so many pictures of this I can put up, or so many things of this, but you always find something, and there's always something like new that's like a thing, you know,
like
that people
inspiration and stuff like that,
and stuff like that. And you know, I always have pages and stuff that I like to take inspiration from as well. So
yeah. And so your goals for the podcast and the we're going forward.
Oh jeez, we're gonna have loads. The podcast is definitely branch out into more things than the beauty industry. We are, so like we're going to an event actually on the 19th of November, which is my birthday, which is mad. But it's
how old are you gonna be? Sorry,
I'll be 22.
22. Oh, you're still you're like my age.
Everyone always thinks I'm older. It's so funny. Yeah, I'll only be 22.
You're doing so well.
Thank you. Yeah. But yeah, so we're going to the Lash market. I know this has to do with lashes, but we're after getting like a few like the mini mics, and you know, we're going to be going around asking people like, what's your favorite like lash products? What's your this kind of so branching out into little like different content kind of stuff like that, like not just a podcast. Something that you enjoy as well with the podcast is that it's video, not only audio. It's both. So like that you can kind of branch out and do like more video content, or you can have more kind of podcast based content.
Do you have a YouTube and are you
on? We do, yeah.
So
YouTube. I haven't put much stuff on it. I've made the page and stuff, but like that, I want to start with more of the kind of video content as well. So like the likes of the Lash market and different things will definitely be more video, and hopefully to get a sponsor for the podcast as well. Because I definitely think with this new studio as well, the content is going to be much better. It's going to be much higher quality and stuff. So I definitely think it'd be worthy of a sponsor. Not in a cocky way, but like as in, you know, it would be good. And I think it'd be good for any business as well to sponsor a podcast that has a lot to do with like the beauty industry and, you know, everything related to all these kind of brands. And then with my business, definitely the products. Yeah, I love the products. I'd also love a bigger salon, but like I can't have everything at once, you know, that kind of way.
Yeah,
but definitely, you always want everything. Like my head's always going like crazy. But definitely the products I want to focus on. And just keep going with lashes.
And how would you like say you have a list of goals, like say for anyone listening, then say you had a list of goals, like how would you plan and work towards achieving them goals?
So I'm very, I love goals as well. So, and I'm kind of a bit airy fairy. Like I love all the manifestation. I love all that stuff, and I really believe it works. Like, and anything that I've like when I started my lash business and I opened this salon and all, I was clearing out my room one of the days, and I was like, I had loads of boxes in the attic, and I was looking through stuff. I don't know what I was looking for, and I came across like a book, like, and it was from me in first year in business. And it was all about what you want to be when you're older. and I said an entrepreneur. Yeah, and I was like, oh my God, that's so weird.
Wait, how old were you?
I like first year I would have been like 13, 12 or 13.
Yeah.
So like it's weird how all them things actually come to life. Do you know that kind of way?
Yeah.
So I'm a big believer in definitely like manifestation, and but I also believe that manifestation is like, it's a combination of believing that you will do it and hard work. It's not
you can't
like
just think about it and think it's just going to come to your door.
Yeah, I think some people be like, I want a Range Rover and I'll be at your door in the morning. Like that's not that. So I'll write down like my goals that I want. Sometimes I like to write myself a time frame, but I find that's always hard to hit that, because like that you do have so many bumps in the road and all that kind of stuff. But I always like to plan out. So I'll be like, products, like how much I need. I find breaking everything down. So I'll be like, right, what's the first step? I need to find a supplier. What's the second step? Need to find out how much they are. So I always like to write down goals and kind of break them down into little ways of what step do I have to like do next in order for that to come to life.
Yeah, I do feel like a lot of people do think that, like, that's why people just say, I don't believe in that.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they understand the actual meaning of it.
They don't understand it now.
They think you just daydream about it and it's just going to literally arrive.
I think it can look like that as well, because you'll see TikToks and be like, I manifested my whole life and it will be these people in like Lamborghinis and all this kind of stuff. And you're like, you don't understand that they probably could have, like they probably work 24/7. Like, do you know what I mean? Or like they probably don't even have a life like outside that. They may have that car, but like, you don't see the work behind it a lot of the times. I think for a while there was a big lack of like showing the work that people put in order to get the life they want. And that's something that I'd love to, and I feel a lot of people they're starting to show the work that goes behind
and
like
the
their
failure
success
and stuff that they had to go through.
Yeah, because you can't be, like I think it was a thing where like people like didn't show that they failed. Like it was like they'd only show like the businesses they have, the cars they have, the life they have, but everyone's like the same. Do you know what I mean? Like we all started off like the exact same. So, and everyone's way of getting to where they are now is different. So yeah, I definitely think like manifestation with hard work is a key to success.
And then with podcasts and stuff, you said you listen to a good few podcasts. What podcast would you listen to?
I love Stephen Partly, love him. I love the Call Her Daddy podcast. That's like nothing to do with business. Do you know Alex Cooper?
I heard of the name.
Yeah.
What's that about?
She's hilarious. She just has like loads of famous people on. Like loads. Right, she's like John Legend. Like she just has loads of people on and she's just gas. But her marketing she's a genius. Like when it comes to marketing.
For a podcast.
Yeah. That's what I find even now when I watch podcasts.
You look at them differently.
I look at them differently.
Yeah,
I'm like, I love how like they interview people or how the type of questions or the way they go about it. I love like there's just loads of different ones. Like there's so many business based ones and then just like regular ones where they just chit chat. But like that, you look at it differently. I look at the marketing. I look at the way they ask questions, and I love how they make some of their, the people that come into them like really comfortable when they're asking them. Like
you're looking at all the details.
Yeah,
that's all. Anytime like before I had the podcast, I wasn't really like, I was just like, oh, this is cool. They're giving me good information or whatever.
Yeah.
But now when I look at them, it's like, what's on their table?
Yeah.
That's nice. I probably wouldn't.
Yeah. That's what I'm like, do I want it more basic? Do I want it more aesthetic? Do you like, you look at it so differently. Sometimes I might even know, I might forget what they're talking about.
To what they're saying. Yeah. They're just looking around.
Literally, I'll just look around. But there's so many, like I can't even think of them all now, but I'm always listening to them and, I do share them on my page and all sometimes as well. So you can always see what I'm listening to.
So for anyone who is listening, if they're looking to reach out to you, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram at swan_lashes_x. That is my lash page. And then the Lash and Learn podcast is the Lash and Learn _podcast on Instagram. So yeah, and you can also find us on Spotify as well for all our episodes there. And season 2 will be coming out on the 1st of November.
Yeah, unreal. Thanks so much for coming on, Hannah.
Thank you very much for having me on. Thank you.
If you want to get in touch, make sure to find us on Instagram at Unlocked Potential Podcast or at Demi's Nails and Beauty. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to leave us a rating on Spotify or Apple. See you next time.